How can it be 4 people waiting?
It says I'm going.
It looks like it's going now. There you go.
We're in?
Yeah.
We're in.
How can it be 4 people waiting?
Probably us twice. So
There we are. It looks like it's going now. There you go. Have you got it open there?
Right. I've got it open. I'm going to close it because it's
Right.
Right, all right. Aye, we're live, John.
Live to the nation.
So, in case anybody's wondering what the hell we're talking about, this is, in case anybody's watching, this is a pilot broadcast. It's not as cool as pirate broadcast, is it? But it's a pilot broadcast of me and John Condren just chatting about all things Power Platform and having a bit of a laugh. I'll introduce myself first and I'll let John introduce. That's a notification come up. Now let John introduce himself. I'm Paddy Byrne, and I am a functional consultant, Power Platform functional consultant working in Glasgow. Only recently a Power Platform consultant. I only recently changed my job title from Dynamics 365 for customer engagement consultant. John, tell us who you are.
I'm John Condren, and I'm a SharePoint guy. Although been getting more involved in like Power Platform and Power Automate and Power Apps and Common Data Service and all that lovely stuff. Yeah, it's been good fun. So I figured we could have a chat about that kind of thing and see how we go.
So the reason we're doing this and going into the format of these broadcasts is I used to work with John in John's previous company, and we used to have some good fun just kind of coming in. He comes from a SharePoint background and I come from a Dynamics background, but we both kind of started using Canvas apps at the same time, but in different ways. So I was using my data source was obviously CDS, and he was using it from SharePoint. And so it's like every day we'd come in and share some ideas, show each other some cool stuff, but we no longer have that anymore. And because we start working together, and it's difficult for me to get out to the pub and share ideas with them. And now with this virus kicking off, I mean, what's that about, John?
Yeah, crazy. I know that's me being
hard done by just getting a beer every other week for that, but now
that's me being in lockdown for a week, man, and it's tough. I miss the pub. I really miss the pub.
And so, well, fun enough, we were in the pub when we spoke about this, weren't we?
That's right, yeah.
It was the last time I was in a pub. But we tried, like, we need to do this more often. You know what? Let's just do something virtual. It was before the coronavirus kicked off. Let's just do something virtual every other week. And you know what? Let's just broadcast it. And we just started kind of brainstorming and thought that, well, we could maybe just have a bit of a chat about what we're doing this week. I know I used to do the kind of personal development journals, but I can remember bringing in, let John know what I've been doing to kind of just help improve my skill set. John can let me know what the cool stuff he's been working on, and then we'll do a kind of show and tell situation. That's where the name comes from. I'll show you mine if you show me yours, where I'll kind of show John something from a kind of Dynamics, maybe not even Dynamics, it's just whatever. We're just going to have a bit of a laugh, really. But we'll start off kind of from a kind of model-driven app Dynamics type standpoint, and he'll show me something from a SharePoint standpoint. Again, this is the first, the pilot episode, so we're really just checking that the stream and everything works.
Figure it out as we go, mate. Just figuring it out as we go.
Aye, and so we thought we'd try that out and keep things really, really simple and basic this week. So, John, what have you been up to?
Well, today was a tough day with because I was really trying to keep the kids going and stuff like. In fact, the kids are using Teams for school.
Oh, cool.
So their teachers set them assignments, and they've got to take pictures if they draw stuff or if they do, I don't know, but they've got to take pictures and send it. And I thought that was quite cool, because I'd already been talking to the wee boy about the what do you call them, Power Virtual Agents, and making wee bots so that talk back to them and stuff like that. And
I bet the kids love that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I love it. So I've been doing that. I had some pretty I've had a couple of projects cancelled or put on hold because they're like they're in furlough now or whatever. The company's kind of not closed down, but like running on a skeleton staff and stuff like that. So just trying to, I don't know, keep on keeping on. So
Oh, it's Joel Abbott, XM Joel, just popped his head in. We've got a list
all
there.
right. I'm on nervous now.
I know. I never think it didn't broadcast it at all. We just thought keep it nice and low key for this first one, just make sure everyone works.
Did you go out and clap for the NHS workers?
No, I didn't know anything about it.
It was a thing that where you're supposed to go out at 8 o'clock and clap for the workers, and which is amazing, really good.
Aye.
But I didn't know anything about it either, and I was upstairs recording a song, and I stopped and I heard everybody clapping. I was like, "How did they know?" But yeah.
About it. I know they did it in Spain. I know they do a big kind of cheer in the club.
All right, okay.
I didn't know they did it here, so that's really good actually.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've been doing today. So like we're just trying to kind of tie up some internal projects, and we've got a load of like people who are like rapidly trying to move their data to the cloud, and so we've got like hundreds of data migrations. People just desperate now to allow their staff to work from home and stuff like that. All the stuff that we've been telling them to do for the last year. You know what I mean?
Aye, it's going to be quite interesting.
Now it's like they're well up for it.
Got 165 gigabytes of data sat in a SQL database.
Exactly.
One in the cloud.
Exactly. I want it yesterday and the day before if that's possible.
Aye.
So that kind of stuff, but I don't know. Just try to write it out, really. You know, like what else can you do?
No, there isn't much.
I'm going to make sure that I don't I use it productively. I want that. Like I don't want to just come out the end of this and then like think, oh, I've got to get back to work now. And I want to make sure I learn stuff and get better at what I do, and make sure that I'm still on the right path. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like stuck in some kind of rut and drinking all day.
I know the feeling, man. That's just try and keep moving as much as can. The extra time I've saved commuting, so it's not even that much now. It's 35 minutes each way.
I'm an hour and a half each way.
Well, that's loads of savings then.
Yeah.
So I've been watching the Power Platform Online conference that was on last.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was like a 9-hour YouTube video, and just half hour. They're half-hour sessions, so it just fits right into my commute. So the time that I'm not commuting, I just watch one of the kind of half-hour sessions. I'm starting off with the kind of Power Apps, Canvas Apps type ones. Working my way back. I've seen a really cool tip by a guy because under the Twitter handle called the Flowhawk.
Right.
It was about design, and so this is a bit that quite interests me with Canvas App because coming from a CRM or Dynamics type customer engagement side, we don't really bother about design. The design's kind of done for you, or don't bother too much about it. But Canvas apps are different, so you have to kind of think about how it looks. And he showed us this website with loads of mobile designs on it. It's really cool. I'll put a link in the description once we finish this. And but what he did, just a dead simple technique that was just brilliant and probably changed the way I'll go use it in every single Canvas app I build probably.
All right, that's good.
But he just takes a screenshot of the app design that he's got inspiration from on this kind of free design website, and it copies that as an image onto the canvas, and then he just builds the components of his Canvas app on.
Right, okay.
I just thought it was brilliant. It was just dead simple, and that keeps them just on track rather than copying it over and keeping to look at the.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was quite good. Other than that, I've been playing about with the Business Central Flow and Power Apps connectors.
Are they in like out of preview now?
They're in preview.
It's not in preview.
Aye, they're in preview. I think there was ones that were on-prem connectors, I think about, and they were, but they've been in preview for ages and they didn't really work that well. But there seems I think they've been updated. I've seen quite a lot going about them, and so I had a play with them, and I actually got actually got integration to work between Dynamics and Business Central without too much headache, which is
There you go.
it was quite an achievement. I was quite chuffed with that. I'm sure that can bridge a lot of gaps. Because and so what I did as well, it's more of a kind of proof of concept. I got an account record, and I embedded a Canvas app into the account form, and looked at so the Canvas app had two connectors on it. The CDS one, obviously from the model-driven app, which passed the ID of the account to the Business Central one, and then that pulled up the orders in Business Central. So you're kind of looking at Business Central data in a Canvas app within the model.
Right, okay. Yep.
I think that's quite cool because you can obviously once the connectors get there, then you can.
So how does that work with licensing?
Probably not that good. This probably comes under the term multiplex, and if you're updating data, if you're reading data, I think maybe it might be all right.
Don't know. Like honestly, I think that licensing, it's almost a job in itself, isn't it? Like if you can understand Microsoft licensing, like you must be some like wizard of some description.
See if you could, if you had time to dedicate to it, if you could understand the licenses and write a virtual agent to understand licenses. So anybody within the community can just go on and say, "Tell me what license I need to do."
Yeah.
It went and looked it up. That would be golden.
Mm-hmm.
But whoever's got, don't know who's going to spend it.
I think the problem with that as well is like, I'm not an expert in by any means, but like it seems the licenses change regularly as well. Like, you know, I remember on what do you call it? Listening to Mark and Steve's show when they were talking about the changes to the $10 license or something like that, and how that's going to affect a whole load of people. And you know, so it's not even just like understanding it now, it's like keeping up to date with it as well as keeping up to date with everything else that's changing. And
so it's a full-time job. You can employ somebody just to do.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's what we've been doing this week. Yeah. There's a few other bits and bobs, but I'll save them for another day.
I mean, like I've got some cool stuff to show you, and but I mean, we'll keep it simple today.
Like I said, just we'll do a trial run the day.
Because I mean, like, effectively, you know nothing about SharePoint. Is that fair?
Nothing about SharePoint. As I said, other than it holds documents and you can build Canvas apps or lists. That's all I know. I don't know what a list is. I don't know anything about it. So again, but that's the point of this. That's the point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I'm sure that there's bits that I know about model-driven apps that and our worlds, as in personal worlds, have kind of overlapped a wee bit. I'm sure there's people out there that are doing the same kind of thing. And so if I can show you something kind of just a nice wee way of doing something that I might just take for granted, and you might show me something that you just take for granted that I have no idea what you're talking.
So, one of the things that I was going to talk to you about as well was like I think again, I think there was a Steve Mordew done a great article about like using the right platform for the right thing. Like, don't make SharePoint into a CRM or a relational database, you know, and don't try and make CRM into a collaboration tool. But I think that there is a lot of that happens, like, and I reckon it's like it is to do with licensing. Is people thinking that? I reckon the perception of CDS or CRM or Dynamics 365 or however we're going to name it, the perception is it's expensive, and so like people don't want to pay. But then, like, I have this conversation in my current job just now. Like, other people are paying it, so like, you know, we need to be involved in some way.
It was never really a problem before, but I think a lot of people think of again. I think the CDS and the Power Platform, because it is kind of, I mean, Dynamics kind of got, I don't know what I say, absorbed by the Power Platform. It's a lot of people just think Dynamics is the only option. Dynamics 365 for sales or the first party apps are the only option. A lot of people think that and they think, oh, it's so expensive. That's like 80 quid a user per month. But it's not. You can get
then, like, how much of that, or how much of the functionality of that are they actually using?
Well, even going back to a couple of years now, the amount of sales implementations that I put in Dynamics 365 for sales or customer engagement, or whatever, that use the whole product or even use the whole sales, the first party sales app. It's very. I've hardly put any in that use products the way that they're designed to be used, the whole product catalog and the suggestions and everything. I've hardly any of them in. It's all pretty much basic opportunity management. But then that's me working kind of small to medium businesses.
Yeah.
The last couple of years. But again, I've tried. Again, I've got a pal, pal Steve. He's just started his new business, and he's saying Dynamics 365. He really wants to go down. He's big into Microsoft, and he said there's a bit of bad experience with other products and that in the past. I'm not naming any names, but I'm sure you can guess what they are. But he says
I don't know that word. So what would it be?
But he says that
don't dodge it, Paddy.
he's desperate to go into Dynamics 365, but it's too expensive. And I'm saying, well, why don't you just start really small with like a wee custom app that logs contacts and accounts?
Yeah. So
maybe do a custom like all you need is like a record that records a sales stage for somebody who's just started, but like just started trading like last few weeks. I was like two
bad timing.
What he needs is just all these parts of China as well.
Is that right?
But he seems to be, I mean, there's big money in it, so he's quite cool. But I was trying to, give it a wee while and have a think about it. I think about maybe stuff. Well, I've got a wee call with him in the morning actually just to help him out on a few things.
No, right, good.
But so do you want to go first? Do you want to show me your?
No worries. I don't really know what I'm going to do, but like I was since you don't even know how to like create a list.
I just start for the start.
Still there. So let me share my screen. I'll go with this guy. Can you see this?
Yep.
So like this is what Microsoft term now as a communication site. So this is one of their P&P, what do you call it, provisioning templates that you can just spin up. It takes 30 seconds now to get from nothing to this.
So how do I go about like getting that?
Sorry?
How do I go about getting to there then?
So see if you go to P&P provisioning. So there's this P&P provisioning site, and all you need to do is log in with your Office 365 account, and as long as it's part of a tenant that's got, I can't remember exactly what you've got to have set up. You've got to have an app catalog, which like you can set that up easy, but I'll talk to you about that another time. So you've got to have a few bits and pieces kind of pre-configured. Then this is just like PowerShell scripts that run and just deploy like that site, this site, like in a matter of minutes. It's incredible, man. And then you just go and change it to however you want it. I mean, there is lots of things that you should take into account, whether because it deploys a lot of web parts as well. So you could say that maybe those web parts aren't ready for production, so you've got to take all these kind of things into consideration as well. But it's an amazing like kick-off point, you know what I mean?
What's a web part?
A web part is, so see this section here? If I move my mouse, can you see that? Yeah. So that's called a hero web part. So when I edit the page, like the page is just made up of web parts. So this section here is a hero web part, and you can edit that and change how you want it to look or what you want it to be and stuff like that. Then you've got a news web part. Then you've got this weather web part, and like people can make their own web parts, but there's a load of pre-configured ones as well. And you just make up your site to suit yourself, you know. So this type of site is made for like pushing information out to the company. So you like a lot of companies use like this as their intranet, and they'll maybe have their marketing people managing it. It depends how else. A lot of times it's marketing and HR folk who kind of manage about what they want to push out to the company. So like you could have like this sample here, you get a new chief executive, so that's the big story that should be on the intranet, that kind of thing. But in any SharePoint site, you can create lists for call it unstructured data. So it's a lot of times, and I've done it myself on numerous occasions, like when if you're using SharePoint as your data source, you kind of, I'd hate to use the phrase hack it together, but it doesn't kind of, it's not what's the word, naturally kind of relational. So right. if you've got data over here and data over here, you've got to manage those relationships yourself in the app or however you're going to do it. So but to create a list, you click on new, you click on list, let's call it Paddy's list. There you go, you've got a list.
That's it.
That's it, mate. So that's the end of my demo. So then, like, it's the same principle as if you create an entity in the CDS, and then you create fields within that entity. Like you can create columns in here. So I'll do a wee thing that I thought about when we used to work together, about whether I was happy at my job. So we'll create a wee yes, no to say, am I happy at my job? And then we'll create a wee geolocation thing where was I when I, oh no, in fact I won't do that, sorry. I'll make that just a hyperlink.
Yeah, different data types in each of the columns there.
Aye, so you've got like, this is the modern way of creating columns within SharePoint. Like, so you can say you want a single line of text, multiple line of text, number, yes, no, person. A person lets you, in the same way as a model-driven app, I think, you can have like people and it just picks them from your Office 365 Active Directory, is that right?
So similar to lookup text type of thing.
Right, aye. So you can have a people column and you can pick however you want. But like the old school SharePoint way, if you click on more, you can do these kind of calculated columns or look up the information that's already on the site. So you can have a list, say you've got a list of jobs and then you've got a list of tasks, and then you can look up the jobs table to get the client of that kind of, so it works, but it's not a proper relational database, you know. It's just for visually, you can see that you can pull other information into your SharePoint list from another list.
Okay.
But yeah, so what I've done is, let me go back. So in the same way that I created Paddy's list, I also created this work happiness list. And what I wanted to show you was like just how straightforward it is to create a wee Power App as well to update it. So I created this wee Power App.
You're looking at Canvas apps, sorry.
Sorry, Canvas app, yeah, sorry. Get the terminology right. So yeah, I created this wee app just so I could see when I'm heading home from work, I'll click a button to say, yep, today was a good day. Then at the end of the month, I can say, am I really happy at my work? You know, because for a long time I wasn't when I worked with you, Paddy.
Is that my fault, is it?
Not in the slightest, not in the slightest. So I created this wee app. I mean, this will look familiar to you. We've got a wee a button here that I made round and green, and I set a wee variable here just to make a wee link to Google Maps, and I get the location. Then I just patch that work happiness list, and I put today it was a good day, all the kind of stuff that like it's all the same principle regardless of your data source.
How are you getting the location there?
It's part of Canvas apps. Like,
Oh, cool.
Amazing, isn't it? Like, I had no idea either until I was like, right, I wonder if you can get the geolocation from your Canvas app. Must be able to somehow. And it was just like, I just do location dot longitude latitude.
That's brilliant. And no, I would have tried to look at different APIs or whatever. I don't know where they even started. Try it.
Incredible. Just that's it.
It just uses your devices.
Yep. I mean, it's not like to the millimeter, but it's good enough.
But I had no idea what amazing is that.
Yep. So yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with the patch function.
Only just.
Is that right? So like all I'm doing is patching my data source, which is this work happiness list. And you just add your data source the same way as you would as an entity from the CDS. So instead of picking it from your list of entities, you pick it from a connector, SharePoint. And it'll show you all the sites that you have permissions to, and you just pick the list from there.
All right, so is that a list of sites or a list of lists?
So this is a list of sites. So then you pick the site, and then you pick the list. See, there's your Paddy's list that I just created. So I can add that as a data source now.
That's really cool. That's that's dead helpful because and this is back to what you were saying earlier, not to overcomplicate things or shoehorn, make it do something that it's not doing. Because again, I've got it's a flow I was thinking of doing, and it just CDS just seems so much overkill for what. I need to store something somewhere, but there isn't any relationships. But I'm thinking Excel, and then I think that's what kind of got us talking about this. Is it SharePoint? Is it Excel? It's again for me. I would naturally just CDS because I have CDS because
so we're doing something like that as well. Like where it's something similar to this. Really, it's a kind of for a lone worker for them to clock in, and if they don't clock in, then that kicks off flows and to say, like you have to try and get in touch with this guy. Well, like it's not like they're doing anything dangerous, or it's just that they need to clock in at a certain time. So I think if it's that straightforward, it doesn't need to be anything else. You can just have that single list that says, okay, Paddy clicked the button at this time, and this is where it was. And then, like, you can have a Power BI dashboard that shows who's all clocked in or who hasn't clocked in or whatever. So it's kind of I think the location stuff is cool for that because like you don't, like I said, you don't need to know that the guy is in this particular building or whatever. So yeah, if I run this, if you look here, where am I? That was it. So that was a good day. Let's make it a bad day. Oh, it was a bad day. There you go. It's away and done it. Go back here. There you go. Today was a bad day. There's my wee Google link. I'll bring up the map. Oh, that's going to tell people where I live though, so let's get rid of that. I don't want Paddy to know where I live. But so like all that kind of thing.
Watching Joel know where now.
But that's like 20 minutes to put that together, and see when you think about how difficult that kind of thing was, like even 5 years ago, man. Like, it's incredible.
It's brilliant.
It's incredible. But are you any questions? Are you happy with that?
No, I think I've asked all the questions I need to actually. No, that's spot on. Like I said, I'll know what to what to do next.
I think it's worth, like, I think SharePoint's definitely got its place. I think it's probably there was I think was it Joe that done the session about how Teams is going to save SharePoint? No.
I don't know.
Pereira?
I seen it was on one of the session lists. I think.
I can't remember it. I can't remember it. But like that, I think that is the case. Like, I think SharePoint, for all that, I think it's brilliant. Like, there's lots of people who are just like I want it, but I don't know what to do. You know, I don't know why I want it, or I don't. And it's difficult to say to somebody, like somebody says, "What is SharePoint?" I'm like, what do you want it to be? You know what I mean? And I think that's really difficult. And I think because of that, it's kind of like struggle to find its place, or it's find itself, for wanting a better phrase.
When I started looking at the Canvas app stuff, that's why I started doing the YouTube videos. I found it really hard. Canvas apps seem to have kind of there was massive adoption in the SharePoint community over Canvas.
That's right. Yeah.
There wasn't really. I think I really struggled to find any.
Well, do you know?
Community service stuff or doing stuff with Dynamics with Canvas apps, and so that's why I started doing videos, because I was just learning as I go.
Well, I think the reason for that is that it's kind of so like with a list you get a form. So if I want to edit this, I get this form. So this is the standard SharePoint form for editing, like the data. So say, oh, today was a bad day, so I just changed that. But
lunch for me today. Is that hey, lunch for me today? That should be good.
I know that was yesterday though, 25th. That was yesterday. But with the forms now, like the way to create custom forms is to use Power Apps.
Right.
So like it was kind of built into SharePoint, you know. So like when I click customize with Power Apps, that's going to load up the what do you call it, the Canvas apps editor, but linked to that particular list. You know what I mean? So it's going to bring up all the stuff relating to that list. And so I think that's probably why like Canvas apps were adopted by the SharePoint community pretty quickly. So you can see there, where was I? Was it a good day? That's effectively that form, and now you can customize it.
Oh, okay. So it's not easy to create an app.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. No, that's wicked, mate.
Cool, man. I'll stop sharing, and you can.
I'll show you
something cool. So I'm drinking this. I can't even show you. I'm drinking this Spanish beer, Maritz.
All right.
I got it for free once.
Free beer during the apocalypse. Not bad. Just give me a second. I'm just going to grab it.
I came prepared, Paddy. I've got 4 here.
Just in case I get a try, mate. I'm on Punk IPA.
You can be a bit of punk.
Last case in the shop. That's all I really drink. I don't drink that much beer anymore now. But this is a special occasion, and again, since the apocalypse is going on, you know. Yeah. I tell you that, I was looking at some of the graphs the day on the rise of coronavirus. You know, you see the line going like that, and then the massive growth.
Exponential growth.
It said like that's my alcohol intake since like social isolation. Just because I didn't drink at all. I gave up drinking. I was like just like gradually stepping up, and then it was like social isolation. Vroom. I'm drinking every night now. Just get me through the day with the family. But so I'll show you mine. So like I said, I'm going, because again I know you've got quite a lot of experience with the Canvas apps, probably more experience than me with the Canvas apps. But you probably don't have as much experience with model-driven apps. Yeah. Model-driven apps, they're new, but they are essentially what we're kind of used to within Dynamics 365.
Right. So, like, is it fair to say that, like, effectively, model-driven apps are what CRM was, like, 10 years ago or whatever? Or
not even 10 years ago. I mean, it's the interface and how you build them. is the same as how you would customize a CRM system. And again,
like, is that what became XRM?
the ability to create custom apps in on XRM, and it had been around for quite a while now.
Right.
Not really sure when it actually kind of switched over to the Common Data Service and the Power Platform. It's hard to tell that. It'd be good if anybody did know that. It'd be good to have a wee timeline of to see a timeline of when XRM stopped becoming XRM. Because I think I was a wee bit late to the party as well, because I just didn't have any time to study anything because there was a lot of stuff going on. I was like, and then all of a sudden, it was only like last, about a year and a half ago, where I started hearing a bit about Canvas apps and a bit about Power Platform, and then all of a sudden it was just like boom, and then I was like, oh, actually, I'm a Power Platform consultant.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I kind of, I've been a SharePoint developer for a while, and I don't think, like, I knew myself that I had to change. Like, you couldn't be just a SharePoint guy. You know what I mean? You had to know where that kind of fitted into the bigger picture. And then I'm not entirely sure, like what I'm going to do now, because like when I see things that you're doing and stuff that's more about the Power Platform and where data is and like I want to learn more, and I don't know if I should be like concentrating on like SharePoint framework development, or because that gives you the ability to edit or to create things for teams as well, and because I don't really know what I'm kind of.
I mean, I'm a wee bit. So again, it's more to do with the size of my customers really, in that back we used to know CRM. It was just CRM.
Yeah.
The whole application or most of the application. You didn't know. Nobody knew everything. But you knew most of it, and you could. It was a one app, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger and more difficult to know the whole app until now. And there's absolutely no way you can. So to specialize, and that's probably the most difficult thing for me, was to pick something to specialize in. I mean, my bread and butter's sales and customer service, so I thought that'd be the easy one to do. But I thought I'd go through some of the Power Platform ones first. So like, I did some Power BI stuff and learned how to use that a wee bit. If that was my thing, and then I decided in the Canvas apps thing and see if that was my thing, because they're the core bits. And now I'm doing a bit more Power Automate. Well, I started doing it as Flow, and now I'm doing. So I'm learning the core bits first, and really, I still haven't decided. That's been over a year now. I've been thinking about it. I still haven't decided what to specialize in, because, and again, it's because of the opportunities that are coming up. They're more Power Platform, Power Apps based opportunities as opposed to Dynamics ones. And sometimes I even think I'm a business transformation consultant, because although I don't know Teams well, I sometimes see, well, that actually isn't. That's Teams that there's just different bits, and
I think it's important.
You need to know enough about how it fits.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Know everything about it, and just try. Like, we'll talk about this in probably another episode, because you're one of Mark Smith's Mentor Challenge. And I was on it last year. That was a big thing for me. But I don't want to really get into that now, because I'm sure we can talk for
absolutely
on what we both got out of that. So
he commented on my post on the group, by the way, to say awesome. So when I said that we were doing this, so that's
got a lot out of it. Again.
Man,
we'll actually maybe set up one of the future things that we'll start it before we show each other pieces. We'll have a talk about what we got out of that. That'll be an interesting one. I think it'll be good for him to hear it as well.
In fact, because I was supposed to make a video, but with all this coronavirus, I've not got around to
it. So I'll show you how. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how I would go about creating a model-driven app dead quickly. I'm going to do it. So I'll create a model-driven app from within a solution. Explain a wee bit about solutions. I'm not going to detail on. I'm just going to skim over a lot of the stuff, but I'll just explain some of the concepts and show you how to create a model-driven app from within a solution and we'll add an entity, we'll add an existing entity to it, we'll add a custom entity to it, and then we'll put some icons on them. And
yeah, I've got a whole load of questions for you already.
And I'll show you, and the kind of one of the things that, again, I know you've used model-driven apps before, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, again, if MD is listening and or watching this video, the recording of this, and has a model like that you might not know about the XRM toolbox, because the XRM toolbox was born out of XRM, a community built tool with loads of nice wee tools in it that the community makes. And there was some
Who was it that made it? Was it one guy?
I think it was a guy called Tangi or Tangai that did it. I should know, because it says that every time you open it up, it should be on it.
I used it when, like, it was for some reporting thing. We had to try and get reports out of
Power BI.
No, it was for it wasn't. It was what do you call it? What do you call them? Like an RDL file. What do you call them?
Aye, the SSRS report.
Aye, yeah, it was that. In fact, that was one of the first things that I got asked to do when I joined our old company, and I was like, I don't know, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah, dark art that. Yeah,
but I think I've always been like that, where if somebody asks me to have a look at something, I'm not going to be like, oh no, that's not my job. Like, I'll always give it a go.
Aye, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
The worst that can happen is you learn from it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I'll share my screen and I'll go through start off building a model-driven app.
And I remember you talking before about I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was to do with the default environment or something like that, or
the default solution, was it?
Aye. No, I'm sure it was to do with environment. It doesn't matter.
All right, so there's my Office 365 screen. I'm going to Power Apps, same as you do with a Canvas app, unless you're doing it straight from a list that I know now.
But you can, like, see if you're doing it from a list, you can still do it from there and go to SharePoint and use that as your data, and you just pick that as your data source, and it'll give you all the fields. It'll give you a kind of a new form, an edit form, a display form.
Right. So in order to start off model-driven app, you can just go to apps and click new app, but I highly recommend against that. For best practices, you should do all your work within a solution. And the reason for that is a solution just is a container of functionality and customizations. And the point of putting them in a solution is that you can move them between environments. So the solutions can be exported, and it comes out as a zip file, and then you can export them into a different environment. And again, it's just reinforcing that application lifecycle management, to say that you should be doing work in dev in a solution, export it to zip file, and then promote it to live. I'm not going to, again, maybe it's for another session of what the difference between unmanaged and managed solutions are. This is just to say, I would always recommend, I would never show you just starting a model-driven app straight away. It's not wrong, but I'd say it's best practice. It's over the years I've learned just not to do that. So and again, it's just easier to move them about within solutions. So to create a new solution, click new solution. I can't see this from our heads. So we'll call it something, I would call this the beach app, because we all want to be in the beach just now and not sitting in my utility room / office. I like to say it's a home office, but it's got a washing machine, a freezer, it's got a beer fridge as well, but so it's more of a utility room. But so you should choose a publisher as well, and click create. And then we've got a beach app solution. And so again, anytime before I create any sort of app, I'll always create a solution, and then I can go and add some components. So first thing I'll do, I'll exist and we will add an entity.
Hey, hang on a minute. So
I'm getting a wee echo in here for some reason, which is odd. But I suppose it's a part of the expect stuff.
I just wanted to ask about, like, so right now you've created a solution. You've not created a model-driven app yet.
No, I've created a solution.
Right. Okay.
So it's just a solution. It contains nothing, just an empty container.
Okay.
So the way I would start pulling in the entities I'm going to use in the solution.
Right. Right. Okay.
So I will use the account entity. I'm going to use the account to represent a state or some trees or a beach.
Okay.
I'm just going to put headphones on. I'll just come out. This is on the Is Zach, you still here?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. So next thing you do is add some components. So select them, and you only want to pull in as little as you're going to modify in the solution.
Right.
In the solution, we're just going to modify the account form, and that's the default. This is the bit that's quite annoying, this bit actually, because it doesn't give you much a description of the form that you're bringing in. But the top one, the account form, is the main form that we're going to amend, and then we'll click add again. And so now our solution, Beach App solution, contains an account entity, nothing else. It's not an app yet. It is just a container that, that tells us that we're going to modify the account entity. And what we'll do next is we'll create a new entity. And we'll call this a tree. Notice as well, see this prefix here?
Yep.
That's our kind of brand. That's the prefix that we have on our solution. So when we choose a publisher of solution, that allows us to see that any field or attribute or relationship with that prefix before it, maybe another development stream or another company can look and say that was them that did that. That's another reason why you use solutions. So we're going to do a tree, and a tree is just primary field for the tree is going to be a name. Let's just create that entity. It goes off and creates it in the background. And we'll go back to our Beach App solution while it does that. The good thing about the new Maker portal is that it just does all your kind of entity creation and stuff in the background, and it'll eventually appear. You don't need to kind of sit and wait on the.
Right. Yeah.
So that has got a tree. Then the next thing we'll do is we'll create a new app. So app, model-driven app. And we'll call it Beach App. I'm not going to add any icons or anything in here yet. And that opens up a blank sitemap. This is your app designer. Anything that comes under here, this is the entity view. Anything that comes under here are the entities that are built in your app. The easiest way to add those entities is to start editing your sitemap. You have to do your sitemap anyway, or you can't see your app. So if you click edit, you've got these kind of areas, groups, sub areas. Now if I just pull up, I'll pull up the traditional kind of sales app. So this is the Dynamics 365 for Sales Hub. Your areas here that seem to go along the top, they relate to this bit here.
Yep. Okay.
So anything you add there will come up in that bit. Your groups are these bits here. So my work, customer, sales, collateral. And then your sub areas are the actual links to your entities or your web resources.
Okay.
So I'm just going to call it beaches. We'll call this, but management. And then we just point this sub-area to an entity, in which case we'll go to the account entity. So the first one we're going to add to the sitemap's the accounts, and then you can click components again, drag a sub-area across, and we'll add our trees.
So, say you've got two model-driven apps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you change the account form here, you're changing it in your solution only, yeah?
No, you'll change it across any app that uses that form.
Right, okay.
So remember, you can have multiple forms. I'll show you that in a bit. It wasn't something I was going to show you, but I will show you that. I'll explain that once we create this sitemap. So on the sitemap, we've got a management section, accounts, trees in there, and we publish that. Close it over, and that pulls the entities in.
Mm-hmm.
So see when you say your forms here, if I click on here, this uses all forms. So any form that's associated to the account, it's going to, regardless of whether it's in the solution or not, it's going to pull that in. If I wanted to just pull in one form, say I've created a custom form, I untick all, I just tick the form that I want.
Right.
Pull in. So any modification I do to that form, it's only within, that's not within the app, because that form might be available in multiple apps.
Mm-hmm. So if you create a form, can you create a new form here?
Yep.
And so if you created a new one, that would only exist in your solution? No?
No. So the way solutions work, so the solution I'm doing is an unmanaged solution, and all the solutions sit on top of the default solution. So you've got all your entities and all your customizations sat on your application. And when you pull something out of your solution and you modify something, you modify it within the default solution.
Right, okay.
But then you can export that and put it somewhere else. I think that I'd probably do another call. A solutions you can go on about solutions for a while. But now, again, my solution and my default solution might contain 20 different account forms, but I only need one in my app. So I can deselect that and just select the one that I need,
right,
or I
okay.
can create a brand new one.
Okay.
Oops. I'm just going to keep that the way it is now. And again, same with views, but again, we'll go into views there. This is really just creating the app. So we'll save that, and then you have to publish your app before you play it.
Right.
And so if we play that app now, we get an interface very familiar, very similar to the Dynamics 365 screen. So that's our sales app. As you can see, it's the exact same. And interestingly enough, so because I've got a Dynamics 365 license, this is a trial
I was just
environment
going
I'm
to
using.
say that because I don't see that.
Yeah, you would if you didn't have a Dynamics 365 license, it would just come up as Power Apps at the top.
Right.
I think it's Power Apps anyway. But because I've got a Dynamics 365 license, it comes up. It actually even says on the app Dynamics 365. So maybe a bug, maybe not a bug, maybe just a wee. Somebody's just missed that out. But so if you look at, we've got accounts and trees now, and look at this icon here. This is my favorite icon in the Dynamics, and the reason it's my favorite is because it's a jigsaw puzzle. Jigsaw puzzle doesn't scream trees to me, except maybe sometimes some are made of them. But a custom entity will automatically have that jigsaw puzzle icon. And the reason it's my favorite icon is because it symbolizes a missing piece of the puzzle. So you've created you've built your app, built on the common data service, and there's a bit missing. So you build your own custom entity, and I just think that's a brilliant icon for a custom entity. But if you're looking for trees and you've got 20 custom entities down here, you don't want to see a jigsaw puzzle for each one. So we're trying not to keep them in our apps. And so what we'll do now, we'll update that icon so that it's a bit more meaningful. And the way of doing that, and the way I used to do it before somebody made a tool in the toolbox, is you goes down your app designer. We'll go back to our solution. And I haven't done it this way in so long, but I'll just try to show you how the kind of thing you have to do. You have to go to tree. There's no way updating that icon from within here. You have to switch to classic view.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they might move this bit over, but again, I haven't done this way in so long. So you have to wait for the whole classic view viewing, and then you can't just upload an image. You have to create what's called a web resource. You have to create 3 of them essentially for your entity icons, and then link them to it. So it's a bit long-winded. So the way that I've been doing it for years now is through the XM Toolbox, and you can download this free. It's made by the community, and the tools that are in it are made by the community. And there's a tool here that you can use called the Iconator. So if I got tools in the XM Toolbox, and it actually ships with it, so you don't need to install this plugin. It's called the Iconator. Open that up, and it'll ask you to connect to your organization. And there's my trial. And then it'll prompt me to load entities and images. And I'm going to load it, because I've done my customization for a solution, I'm going to load from a solution. Because if I loaded all entities and images, I would just get every single entity in the application. And because quite a lot of things are moving into the common data service, that can become quite big.
Yeah.
So we're going to load our entities and images from the Beach app. And we've got a custom entity there without an image, which is tree. At the moment, the image is this, and this tells you the size of the image as well. So you've got 16 by 16, 32 by 32 in vector. These are legacy ones. I still like to put them in because you might have someone who's on the old interface, even though they shouldn't be. But I do still like the 16 by 16 one because when you do switch to classic view, you can still see all the icons down the side, whereas you just have a load of custom icons. So I'm just so used to putting the 3 in that I still do. And so we wanted to add some images. We click add image, and these are images that I downloaded earlier using a wee tool.
Oh, it's like Blue Peter there.
What?
It's like Blue Peter there.
Aye. I didn't want to ruin other surprises or other talks, you know. So there's my 3 images. I actually changed. I've got some pine tree ones, but I wanted a palm tree. So although these look like this one here is actually a palm tree because I didn't like the pine trees, but the other ones are pine trees. So you've got a PNG 16 by 16, a pine tree 32 by 32, and SVG. And the SVG ones are the ones that are used within the modern interface. So that's the ones that you're going to see, and your customers are going to see. Open them up. You've got a choice to add them to default solution. Again, it's just my opinion. I'd say that's best practice doing that. I'd want to keep everything within my Beach app solution. They get prefixed by the solution prefix, and then you can choose to overwrite images with the same name if they exist. Let's create web resources. Now, these images now are in your solution. They're uploaded into Dynamics 365, but they're not associated to any entity yet. And so you need to map them to the entity. So if I highlight tree and on the 16 by 16 tab, click the icon, map it.
There you go.
32 by 32, click the icon, map it. And then the vector images, as I said, I changed it to a wee palm tree because I thought it looked better. And I wanted to be going holiday really. I can map that. And then all I need to do then is apply and publish, and that moves the images that we've uploaded into Dynamics, so into CDS or a model-driven app, maps them to that image, that entity, sorry. So then when we go back to our model-driven app, we should be able to refresh the page. And we've got a wee palm tree icon there. And that's probably, that's you now got a model-driven app with 2 records on it.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably show you how to relate those 2 records if you wanted to. It's probably enough for the day. That's what we say.
We'll come back to that then.
But essentially, that's you now got a model-driven app with 2 records in it, and that's how easy it is to spin them up and make it look a bit. And you can actually see it as a custom.
You keep clicking your fingers. No?
No?
It sounds like you're clicking your fingers.
That's a bit of nervous twitch. I can't click my fingers. Ironic. Is it maybe because my mouse is a bit clicky? I've got a really clicky mouse.
All right. Okay. Could be.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's good. I think like is this if we keep doing this, then I would really like to understand solutions more.
Solutions. Do you want me to put something together for next time?
Aye, that'd be good.
I'll put something together then.
That was a click there. Don't know.
Is it my chair? Maybe. No. Wait. What I'll stop sharing and then we'll finish.
We'll finish up. If anybody's watching, they're bored by now.
I will.
No, I think I definitely want to learn more about solutions. I still don't really like if we're putting like the account entity into a solution, and then if we edit it, we're editing it for everything anyway. Then I don't see where the value is, and you know what I mean. I'm not saying there is none. I'm just saying I don't understand.
It's keeping it together. Again, I think once I explain the difference between managed and unmanaged solutions, because managed, so at the moment we're default with an unmanaged solution. You can move that to a different environment, and then everything you change on top of that changes as well. But managed solutions, you can't edit the contents of them. So for me, as an ISV or even a partner, doing customizations in managed solutions and then unmanaged solutions, export them as managed and then import them into your new environment as managed. So I export them as unmanaged and managed. I get confusing myself. You export 2, you export a managed and unmanaged, and you import the managed. Some people do. That's the way it's supposed to do it. There's a big debate about managed and unmanaged, whether to use unmanaged all the time or managed. And like the word for Microsoft is you should be using managed in all environments except your dev.
Okay.
But they're tricky. They're tricky. But yeah, essentially you can't. The idea is that you can't go in and mess about with managed solutions, and that should be so. You should be deving and unmanaged, promoting to test and live and managed. And then there is a bit as well. So if you delete a managed solution, it deletes the customizations with it as well. Whereas if you delete a unmanaged solution, it only deletes the container, but all the customizations remain there. I'll try.
I think we need to do a deep dive into this one.
A deep dive into solutions. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Well, we'll do that possibly next time. So I think we're planning maybe doing this. We do this regularly anyway. Every week's a bit much, but every 2 weeks, possibly.
Right. If I've got something cool, then I'll tell you about it, and then we can. I think it's good as well, like just to have this for reference for us, like to go back, like, oh yeah, Paddy talked about this and that, and.
I mean, like I said, I really want to try and get in the habit of training and presenting, because that's one of the things I think one of my weak points is I can run workshops fine, but I have a lot of confidence issues in presenting and training, and I think this is by doing these kind of wee things, it'll build that skill set up. That's why I want to do these.
Definitely.
Even if it's one week I might show you something that's brand new to me and cool, but other weeks I'll show you something that I've been doing for 10 years, hopefully. But
but explaining it will try and get me in that mindset of that training mindset. And I think it'll be the same for you, hopefully. And I'm hoping that other people get involved as well.
And I think that you're talking about like just practicing like demo and stuff or whatever, or running a training session, or like this is perfect because like I don't really know anything about like what you do, so like if you're showing me something then and I'm like, I don't get it, Paddy, then you've like that's what you're going to come across when you're a customer, like people are going to be like, I don't get it, like, and then you've got to figure out a different way of approaching it to try and make them understand.
It's been really good for me even just going through that way, because that's something that I do quite a lot, but actually running through it, and I mean it's a safe environment here as well. I mean the only pressure we've got is that it's going onto YouTube, but I don't feel like it's going onto YouTube. I feel like I'm chatting to John Condren having a beer, which is good. So it's and when I do, and hopefully when you as well do your training sessions and present, you'll just think of that same way. Just imagine it's talking to John.
I think if nothing else comes out of this coronavirus thing, like see when you're at work and you're presenting something and you're nervous and stuff like that, just think like it's only work.
At least I'm in front of people.
Aye. At least I'm proper socially engaging with other human beings. And after it, I could go to the pub.
My mate said to me earlier the day as well, my pal Matt, he says he's going to get a t-shirt made for after this. Once this all blows over, he's going to get a t-shirt made that just says F off, I'm in self-isolation. That's quite good. But anyway, well, that's it. This is over time as well.
No, I don't know. I mean, see, that's the thing, mate. Time flies. I'm back on the regular.
And the tea. Can of tea, can of tenants. Aye, well, I'll catch up with you. I'll stop the stream now and I'll catch up with you soon. Probably catch up with you in 10 minutes.
No worries, mate.
See you soon, mate. Bye.
Cheers, everyone.